Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing great. So students, in this video I am going to explain you about the decomposition reaction, displacement reaction. Now, decomposition reaction. So what is decomposition reaction? So you should remember the decomposition reaction is just opposite the combination reaction. As you know, in combination reaction, two reactants combine with each other and form one product, whereas in decomposition reaction, one compound or single reactant decomposed into two or more than two products in the presence of heat or light, or if we pass electricity towards it. Now you can see here a reaction in which a single reactant decomposes, that is called breakdown, to give more products. It can be two or more than two. It is called decomposition reaction. So here you can see reactant is one and we have two products. So this XY represents single reactant and this will give rise to, by the action of heat or by simply passing electricity or in the presence of sunlight, we will get two or more than two products. Now, what are the conditions that is necessary for decomposition? So here we have three conditions. By heating the substance, simply when we will heat the substance, we will get the product, or by passing electricity through the substance, or in the presence of sunlight also, we will get the products. So first example is by heating the substance, or it is also called as thermal decomposition. Thermal means heat. So here one example is given by when we will heat simply the lead nitrate crystal, what will happen. So you can see here reaction is given. So when we will heat the lead nitrate compound, we will get we will get yellow lead oxide, which is one product, nitrogen dioxide gas, which is of brown fumes, and oxygen gas. So when we will decompose the lead nitrate salt, we will get three products. You can see here lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So this is the simply activity, and it is the example of decomposition reaction. So you should know these things. Second example is heating of ferrous sulfate crystal. So same way, when we will heat the ferrous sulfate salt, which is green in color, when we will heat it, so it will turn its color also. So we will get further three products: ferric oxide, which is reddish blue, sulfur dioxide, which have the pungent burning smell. You can see smell of burning sulfur, and sulfur trioxide. So again we will get the three products. Now another example is heating limestone. Heating limestone. So limestone substance is limestone. So limestone formula is CaCO3. So when we will heat the it is a carbonate salt. So whenever we will heat any carbonate salt, it will release carbon dioxide gas. So always remember, carbonate salt release the carbon dioxide gas. So when we will heat the calcium carbonate salt, we will get calcium oxide, CaO plus carbon dioxide. It will release the carbon dioxide. Here also we have one reactant and it will decompose into the two product. Now here you should know that all metals carbonate except the sodium carbonate and potassium carbonate produce carbon dioxide gas. So you can see copper carbonate and zinc carbonate, it will also release it will also give rise to its respective oxide, copper oxide and zinc oxide, plus it will release the carbon dioxide, except sodium and potassium. So this is another activity is given. You can see activity number 5. In this they are showing the same thing, same thing, that here also we are heating calcium carbonate. So here when we will heat the calcium carbonate, as this salt is CaCO3 carbonate salt, so it will release the carbon dioxide gas. So how we have to do this? So here you can see we have to take a solid carbonate salt in a test tube, and then we have to heat it gently and then strongly. So when we will heat it, it will release the carbon dioxide gas, and this carbon dioxide gas, with the help of delivery tube, we have to pass into the lime water. So when what happened to the lime water? Lime water is transparent solution. So when the carbon dioxide added into it, it will turn into milky. So carbon dioxide, always remember that carbon dioxide uh, turns lime water milky. So this will be the milkiness of lime water indicates that carbon dioxide is released during the process, during the reaction. So we will observation, it is written, you can see lime water turns milky, and what is the conclusion? It conclude the milkiness of lime water conclude that carbonate, this calcium carbonate salt, while heating it release the carbon dioxide gas. Metal nitrate, when heated, same you can see lead nitrate, copper nitrate, when it will heat, it will produce further its oxide, lead oxide or copper oxide, nitrogen dioxide gas, which is brown in color, and oxygen gas. So you should know that nitrate salt will produce nitrogen dioxide gas, whereas carbonate salt will produce carbon dioxide gas. Now another example is sulfate. So the salts which contain sulfate SO4. So you can see two examples are given here, zinc sulfate and copper sulfate. So whenever we will heat the salt which contain the sulfate radical, it will produce its oxide, zinc oxide or copper oxide, and it will release the sulfur trioxide. So SO3. So you should know that salt which contain the carbonate will release CO2, which contain the nitrate it will release NO2, and which contain the sulfate it will release SO3, sulfur trioxide. Now another example is given, potassium chlorate. So potassium chlorate formula is KClO3. So whenever we will heat the potassium chlorate in the presence of MnO2, manganese dioxide, it will release potassium chloride KCl plus oxygen gas. So this is a reaction you should know. Now why is manganese dioxide MnO2 added to this reaction, this potassium chlorate reaction? Because here MnO2 is, it will act as a catalyst. So catalyst, what is catalyst? So catalyst is a substance, it is written also here, which either increase the rate of reaction. So here catalyst act as a substance which changes the speed of a chemical reaction, but it will not undergoing any change, it will not participate in the chemical reaction, it only increase the rate of chemical reaction. So that's why. So it is a give reason type of question. Now what will happen when we will pass electricity to to the salt? So some decomposition reaction can takes place or can occur in the presence of electricity, that is called electrolytic decomposition. Whenever we will pass the electricity, then only it will dissociate its components, it will dissociate into respective element or ions, otherwise not. So you can see sodium chloride example is given. So whenever we will pass, so sodium chloride we have to make a solution by adding water into it, and then we have to pass electricity into it, then only it will dissociate the sodium metal and chlorine gas. So the same way decomposition of water also, that is also called electrolysis of water. So whenever we will add some acid into the water, because we know that water is a pure that is not a good conductor of that electricity, so we have to add acid into the water so that it can conduct electricity. So whenever we will pass electricity into the water, it will decompose into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. So in both the reaction we have one reactant, and it is producing two products. So here you can see. Now next few reaction takes place, few decomposition reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight, photolighting. photolytic decomposition. So like you can say this decomposition of silver chloride. Silver chloride formula is AgCl. So it is a white color. It is a white color salt. Whenever we will in the presence of sunlight, whenever we will keep it, so what will happen, it will produce the silver which is green color and chlorine gas. So it is decomposed into silver and chlorine. Same way, decomposition of silver bromide AgBr, which is yellow in color. So in the presence of sunlight, this silver bromide also decomposes into silver and bromine. So chlorine, bromine, these are the gases. Now can we say that a combination reaction is opposite? So yes, it is just opposite to a combination reaction, because in the combination reaction, as I told you earlier, combination reaction, we have two or more reactants that is combining together and forming one product, whereas decomposition, we have single reactant and it is decomposes into two or more products. So this is the both are the opposite processes. Now next is the displacement reaction. So here you can see, so how displacement reaction is working on. So this displacement reaction depends upon the activity series. So here you can see table 1.6, I am showing you here. So you can see in this table, most reactive metals are arranged on or placed on the topmost place, and whereas the least are below in the activity series. So here you can see potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, they are the most reactive, whereas these mercury, silver, gold, copper, they are the least reactive. So potassium is and sodium, they are the highest reactivity, they have high reactivity, whereas silver and gold, they have less reactive. So in the displacement reaction, you should always know the metals or the elements which are high reactive, which have highest reactivity, they are able to displace or they are able to remove the position of the less reactive metals. So you can see the potassium and sodium, they are able to displace the silver and gold from the during the chemical reaction. So how it will work? So let me give you some examples. So you should remember the activity series here. So here you can see hydrogen is also there, hydrogen, and below the hydrogen copper is there. So you can see, then here you can see magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron is also there. So iron is here and copper is here. So you can see in by looking into this activity series that iron is more reactive than the copper. So iron can easily replace the copper from its salt. So this is the displacement reaction where most reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal. So you can see a definition is given, a reaction in which a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its salt solution is called displacement reaction. So how we will write it? So here you can see xy plus z, it will give zy plus x. So you can see z displaces this z is more reactive than x. So you can see this z is more reactive than x. So this z will remove the x and the x will then when it will displace the x, then it afterwards it will form a new product which is zy, or you can see here. So z is more reactive or so that it can displace the x from the xy, and it will form, after displacing it will form zy, and the x we will get. So here you can see z displaces x from its compound or the salt solution. Now Few examples are given, as I said, reaction between the copper sulfate solution and iron nail. So here you can see iron displaces copper from copper sulfate. So I told you that in when we will see in the activity series, iron is placed on uh, top little bit placed, then the copper is below the iron. You can see in the copper is below the iron. So being above the copper, so you can see that iron is more reactive than copper because it is placed above the copper in the activity series, that table 6.1. So you can see this iron is able to replace the copper from the copper sulfate solution, and when it will displace the copper, it will form a new compound which is called ferrous sulfate, which is green in color. It will change the color also because copper sulfate is blue in color, and when the iron displaces it, it will form a ferrous sulfate which will be in green color, and you can see this reaction. So CuSO4 plus iron, it will gives after displacement. Iron can easily displace the copper because iron is more reactive than copper according to the activity series, and it will form the iron sulfate plus copper. It is also called ferrous sulfate. Another example is given, zinc and copper sulfate. So here also you can see, whenever you will see the activity series, you will find that zinc is above the copper. So zinc is also like iron, zinc is also reactive than copper. So even zinc is more reactive than iron. So you can see here. Now, so this zinc can easily displace the copper from the copper sulfate, and it will form the zinc sulfate plus copper. So we will get the red copper as a precipitate in this reaction. So zinc, being more reactive than copper, displaces copper from copper sulfate, and it will form the zinc sulfate plus copper as a precipitate. So as you can see, arrow is down here, you can see. So this down arrow indicates that this is indicate the formation of precipitate. Now activity is given, you can see activity to show this reaction only, copper sulfate and zinc. So what we have to do, we have to take a 5 ml of copper sulfate solution in a test tube, as you can see, which is blue in color. So copper sulfate salt is actually blue in color. So we have to put a thin zinc plate here. So after few hours, what we will observe, that this blue color will fades away. So blue color will fade, and we will get the at the bottom of a test tube, we will get some red precipitate, which is a metallic copper. So this is all about the activity, we can conclude it. So next reaction of displacement is reaction between silver nitrate and copper. So here you can see, when a piece of copper is placed in silver nitrate solution, the solution turns blue. So here you can see it is a colorless solution when copper is a reddish brown. So when it will so copper is more reactive than silver. So copper will displace the silver from the silver nitrate, and then it will form a copper nitrate which is blue in color, and we will get the silver gray. Now so you can see here, copper is more reactive than the silver. Silver is the second last position. Silver is of second last position. So here you can see. Now other example is given, lead and copper chloride. So here you can see lead is more reactive than copper. So for the displacement reaction, you should know the table. This table is also called as reactivity series of metal. So this table is very important. With this table, if you know the position of the metals, we can easily see the or solve this reactions. So lead, being more reactive than the copper, can easily displace the copper from the copper chloride, and it will form lead chloride plus copper. Same way, sodium metal and water. So sodium, you know, the second places of sodium of the in this table. So you can see sodium can easily displace the hydrogen hydrogen, as you can see, sodium is placed at second position, whereas hydrogen is above the this here. Hydrogen is above the copper, in between the lead and the copper. So it is below, hydrogen is below, and sodium is placed in the second position. So sodium is very reactive than the hydrogen, so it will easily displace the hydrogen and it will form sodium hydroxide. So this is. Now metals react at different rates. Some are reactive metal, some are less reactive metal. So on the basis of these reactivity, metals are arranged in the given table. So the most reactive are placed on the top of the series, whereas the least one, less one placed in at the bottom of the series. So this table is very important, and this is called reactivity series of metal. Now what is the double displacement reaction? So double displacement reaction, what is the difference between, so double displacement reaction and displacement reaction, there is when you will see, just by looking the reaction only we can find out whether the reaction is displacement reaction or the double displacement reaction. So you should know that in the displacement reaction we have one metal and one compound. Reactants are one metal and one compound, whereas double displacement reaction always takes place between two compounds. So we have the two, we always have in the double displacement reaction, we always have we always have two compounds which act as a reactant. So a reaction in which aqueous solution of two compounds, they will react with each other, they exchange their ions and they will form two new compounds. They are called double displacement reaction. So here you can see both are the compounds. So reactants are compounds, even products are compounds. So few reactions are given. Reaction between barium chloride and sodium sulfate. So in this barium chloride and sodium sulfate, both are the compounds. They just based on their reactivity, they will just displace their ions and they will form two new compounds. So when barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate, it will produce the barium sulfate, which is a white precipitate, and it will produce sodium chloride. Whereas silver nitrate and sodium chloride, so we all know that sodium is more reactive than silver, so it will interchange and it will produce two more compound, silver chloride, which is a precipitate, again white precipitate, and it will produce another product is sodium nitrate. So this is all about the double displacement reaction. Now when two reaction in which two compound react and form a insoluble precipitate, they are called precipitation reaction. So it will so these precipitate is basically insoluble, so that's why we can see it will settle down at the bottom of the test tube and we can see it. Precipitate can be of any color, it can be of white, it can be of red, it can be of any color. So one reaction is given. So these are all precipitate, you can see. Now another reaction is neutralization reaction. So reaction, what will happen when reaction will takes place between an acid and a base. So when a double displacement reaction takes place between an acid and a base, it will produce always a salt plus water, and such a reaction is called neutralization reaction. Definition is also given here. You can see a reaction in which acid reacts with base to produce a salt and a water is called neutralization reaction. So example is given, we all know HCl, hydrochloric acid, is an acid, sodium hydroxide is a base. So when they and sodium can easily displace the hydrogen from the HCl, and it will produce the NaCl, and it will, which is a salt, and water. So this is a example of neutralization reaction where acid reacts with base and produce a salt plus water. Now metal hydroxide and metal oxides are called bases. So compounds, those those who are having OH group, OH radical, they are called bases. One more example, the same example they are giving of HCl and NaOH. whenever acid and base react with each other, they will form a salt plus water. Now another example is given, sulfuric acid and zinc hydroxide. You can see OH base is having OH group. So whenever acid and base react, it will form a salt plus water. And here also HCl plus magnesium oxide. So any oxide or hydroxide when react with acid, they will produce salt and water, and such reactions are called neutralization reaction. Thank you and have a nice day. Please go through the chapter. Thank you.